in my circle? Who the one who be the snakes? Who gon' fold up under pressure? Who gon' understand the stakes? Who gon' wait to get their food to try to take from off my plate? Who the love? Who gon' understand I'm hurt? Who gon' love me unconditionally and try to make it work? Who gon' party once I'm gone and shed a tear once I'm in dirt? I ain't asking for too much, I'm trying to understand my worth.
Welcome to the next episode of Give Me My Crown podcast.
Give Me My Crown podcast.
And we back at y'all with another week of college football recap.
Yes.
This week it was a lot of good games this week. For the most part, I think it went, I guess, kind of like we expected. For the most part.
No, for the most part.
I don't think there was a lot of teams. There was a lot of close games. Some teams were close to being upset. But they came out on top. First team was Alabama. Alabama looked like they were about to give that game away.
I think somebody running from the podcast, man, because Alabama lose, then Alabama don't look good, and they can't get on. That's all I'm saying. So he gonna see this. Let him know I'm talking about him. Go ahead.
And I know Alabama got a tough schedule coming up because they still got the rest of the SEC. I don't know who else they play, but I know the SEC is still tough. They still got Tennessee. I don't know if they play Texas or not.
But South Carolina always play Alabama hard though. You know what I'm
they
saying?
They do. But I wonder if I don't know if that loss last week. I don't know what it. That lost to Vanderbilt. I don't know what that did to them, but yeah, they didn't look good at all.
I honestly thought they wouldn't come out and just kill, but they did.
I did too. That's what I was expecting them to come off of a loss, come out and just run the score up. But like you said, it didn't happen.
I agree. Yep.
Tennessee had a close game. They played against Florida. They didn't look too good either. Their offense didn't.
Hey, it's starting to be tougher games, man. I think we're going to see the real team show up right now.
Oh, yeah.
Something we talked about this week, didn't realize Tennessee's quarterback was a freshman.
He's a redshirt freshman. Yeah, that's that's scary to think about what he can be in 2 years.
Exactly, man.
Because I like I said, I honestly did not know he was a freshman. I've been watching him play, but I didn't pay attention to the fact that he's a freshman because obviously last year they had Joe Milton.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know. Like I said, I didn't know he was a freshman, but he's playing pretty good to be a freshman. He is making some mistakes, but to be a freshman, he's still playing good. So I can only imagine what he's going to be in 2 years.
I agree. Yep.
Another good game, Oregon, Ohio State.
We can talk about the game. We got the last play though. You know what it reminds us of something else.
Yeah, that play Dak made. What was it? Was it last year or 2 years ago?
It was last year. I think so.
But yeah, because when I seen it, it's only because they only had 9 seconds or 6 seconds.
Yep.
And he knew he didn't have time to run the ball.
Man, I don't know what he was thinking.
Because at least I would have at least thrown the ball to the end zone to try to get something. Because with 6 seconds, if you hike the ball with 6 seconds left, you don't have a timeout. If they had a timeout. If they had one timeout, that might have been changed because he could have went down earlier, called a timeout, kicked a field goal. But they didn't have a timeout, so he was going to have to, in 6 seconds, he was going to have to run, 12, 15 yards, line the team back up, spike the ball to stop the clock, then get the field goal team in there.
Okay, he was thinking, it's college, right? The clock stops when the play ends. All right, as soon as the clock starts back up, spike the ball. But he still wouldn't have had enough time because when he slid, it would have been 1 second left. The moment the ref sets the ball, if you spike it, the 1 second's gone.
But it's also first. Was it a first down? Because clock stops on first down.
I won't.
Yeah, clock only stops on first down.
Yeah,
in college. So, but that was a good game. I don't think Ohio State dropped too low.
They didn't. They dropped to what was it? It won't. It was. I think it may have dropped
5 or 6, maybe.
No, 4.
4. Okay.
About 4.
Yeah. So because that was probably the best game of the weekend.
It was.
Great game. Yeah, Penn State won. They struggled with USC though.
And look, We watching the game. I thought USC was gonna win, man. I was rooting for
I did
USC.
too. That their run game was struggling, but then Tyler Warren came out and he was balling.
Here we go, man.
I want to say I think he had 244 receiving yards as a tight end.
Can we tell the people that you are a Penn State fan? Let's put that out there. Like,
I'm
that's
just
why
saying.
you believe in Penn State. We watching the game, and I was like, Penn State finna lose. They gonna lose. I'm getting excited, you know. So, yeah.
But yeah, they did the opposite of what we said they couldn't do.
Exactly. They threw the ball.
We said they needed to have a really strong run game, and when they pass the ball, they're going to start turning over. This week, it was the complete opposite. Run game.
USC.
Huh?
It was USC. Don't start.
I know, but still, the run game was horrible. They didn't have a run game at all. Then passing game, he came out and threw almost 400 yards. Tight end had 240 something receiving yards.
It was USC. Stop doing that, man.
USC was ranked just a week ago.
They were ranked all last year, right? Some parts of last year, right?
USC was. I'm just saying, USC was just ranked a week ago.
Trash, man. They rebuilding. Come on now.
But they were ranked a week ago.
Okay.
Another team that I don't know if I'm gonna say struggled, but it was a close game. Was the Georgia Mississippi State game?
It was.
They only won by 10 points.
Yeah.
But like we said before, when you're getting into these SEC games, teams are coming to play.
They are, man.
Because
go ahead.
Even if they know they can't make the playoffs, they're trying to dethrone these top teams.
Exactly.
Because they don't want to see the Alabamas, the Georgias. They don't want to see these same repeat teams.
I'm telling you, man. And this is where the NIL deals play a part.
Oh yeah.
Think about it, man. I can go to one of these small schools and still make some bread versus going to sit on the bench for one of these major schools. Yep.
That's true. And I wouldn't even say that's a smaller school, but it's still I get what you're saying. Yeah. You're saying not a top 10 school.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ole Miss lost to LSU.
Man, that hurt me, boy. I like Ole Miss.
Yeah, that was a good game. Ole Miss, I think they're at the point now. Ole Miss with that second loss, Ole Miss has to win out.
Yep, gotta win out, man.
To even maybe consider the playoffs, they have to win out.
Yep.
Because as I said, that second loss killed them. Kansas State beat Colorado. That was a good game.
Man, no, it was not a good game. See, I watched the entire game. I watched the last play.
You think they got cheated?
That was pass interference, man. Come on, he mugged the man for the ball got there.
Shiloh should have took some more. They should.
Man, listen, bro. Did you see his legs?
Shiloh should have took some more. Should have took some more time, maybe, and got back in the groove.
Man, one play he was legs was touching the ground. My man shook him. And I was like, "Yo, this Shiloh
it was bad."
But he made some good plays in the game, though.
He did. Yeah.
He won.
Travis Hunter. That Travis Hunter injury, I think, had a bunch of people scared.
It did, man.
But apparently, he's supposed to be back this week.
It hurt the team, though. I think if they lose another game, you got to shut him and Shador down.
Oh yeah,
because I mean, you messing with their career at this point. Yeah,
yeah, or at least with Travis Hunter, like because how many more games they need to win? What 2 or 3 more games to be bowl eligible?
I'm not sure, man. The way I looked at this, though, think about this: if they had beat Kansas State and won out, your prediction would have came true.
I know
they would have made the college football playoffs. Yep.
But if you look at it, so right now they have 2 losses.
Yeah.
If they win out and then win their conference, they could possibly be in the playoffs if they win their conference. Yes, if they win their conference championship, they have a strong possibility to be in the playoffs.
They had to win this Kansas State game and win out. I said that last week.
I'm telling you, if they win out from here, because if you think about it, this is going to push Kansas State up. Kansas State. What is Kansas State now? You have the rankings pulled up.
I do. Kansas State is 17.
17. So imagine this scenario. Just imagine this scenario. Kansas State wins out. Colorado wins out. If Kansas State wins out, it's gonna push them, depending on who above them lose, in the top 10. If Colorado wins out, that's gonna bring them into the top 25. So once that brings them into the top 25, if they beat a top 10 Kansas State team in a conference championship, I think that will give them a playoff spot.
It would not push them to the top 12 though. That's a
But
huge jump.
you got to think about how this new playoff system works.
Okay. Well, I gotta see it work because clearly I don't understand it enough. They say how it's gonna work, but we know how they will do stuff.
I mean, you know the normal team is gonna be in there no matter what.
Alabama can lose 3 games. They're gonna be there.
They're gonna find some way to get them in there.
Boy, I'm telling you, I gotta go in on Alabama. Davis ain't here. I'm going in on Alabama.
What other games was this weekend? Pitt won. Pitt beat California or Cal.
Yep.
Pitt is number 22. Illinois won a shootout against Purdue, 49-50.
Yep.
Illinois is quietly pretty good this year.
We talked about last podcast.
Yep. Like they're quietly like getting pretty good. And then BYU won again. They beat Arizona.
Yeah.
BYU still climbing the charts. BYU is ranked number 14 right now, and I believe they're undefeated.
I'm gonna tell you something nobody talking about, man. I'm gonna get a shout out to the military.
Oh, Army and Navy both creeped in.
Gotta shout them out, man. They in there. I can't remember last time I've seen 2 military schools in the top 25.
Yeah, I don't know when was the last time this has happened. Because last game, I think it's the last game of the season when they play each other. That's gonna be a good game if they're both still ranked.
It is, man. I think they both ranked because we're about to go to war.
Who else won? Texas won. They beat Oklahoma. We talked about who was going to be the starter. Quinn Ewers was the starter.
How did they look?
I mean, they put up 34 points.
I asked you a question. How did the team look?
I'm just saying they put up 34 points.
How did they look? The eye test. Did they look like the team that they've been playing like for the past few weeks?
No, Quinn Ewers didn't even have 200 yards passing.
Oh, okay. Just throwing out there.
He had 199 yards.
So when he struggled, what's going to happen?
But at what point would you pull him?
In the big game, if he's struggling in the first half, do you pull him?
I think struggle is subjective. So I think it's what you mean by struggling. Like, has he thrown 3 picks, or is it just a close game?
If he throw 3 picks, they yanking him quick.
Yeah, in that situation, yes.
Yeah.
Now, if you're saying struggling, just not scoring, but he's not turning the ball over, I don't think they pull him.
Okay.
But if he's constantly turning the ball over, yes, I think they pull him.
All right, he getting that phone call quick. Hey, look, come over here.
I think that loss killed Oklahoma. Though I think Oklahoma's done.
They done
for the playoffs. I think they're done. Clemson still rising. Clemson is number 10. They beat Wake Forest. They actually blew Wake Forest out.
They beat Wake Forest.
But Clemson is I want to see them play Miami and Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Those are going to be good games.
They are.
Who else played this week? Utah lost to Arizona State.
And we talked about that though.
Yes, so that might drop. That's going to drop them.
It is.
That might drop. Are they still in the top 25?
I don't think so. I'm looking. Nope.
So they dropped out of the top 25.
Yep.
So they dropped from 16 out to top 25. But when Alabama lost, Alabama dropped 5 or 6 spots, and they lost to an unranked team.
We hating on Alabama today. Let's keep going.
Just saying. Missouri came back with a 1. I mean, they played Massachusetts, but they needed a win. Who else? Iowa State beat West Virginia. Iowa State is ranked number 11, or they were last week. They're probably
they steadily climbing, man.
What are they now? Are they 10?
Iowa State.
Or are they still 11?
Hold on. No, they still 10.
Still 10. Okay, so they're rising. And last game of the season was not last game of the season. Last top 25 team that we ain't talked about.
Who is that?
I'm just saying he's steadily rising. His stock is steadily rising.
Man, who is it, man? God.
I know they might have played Hawaii.
They might have played Hawaii. Woo.
He had 217 yards and I think 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
Boise State running back Ashton Genty.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
He's gonna be the Heisman this year.
Huh?
He's gonna be the Heisman this year.
He's probably front runner right now.
Okay.
Things.
I got you.
I don't know. The only thing about Travis Hunter is I don't know if with that injury, do you keep pushing him to play both sides of the ball?
I agree. I mean, I say no.
Because like you said earlier, if they get into a position where they're out of playoff contention and they're out of bowl contention,
shut him down, man.
You have to look at his career past college and pick one side of the ball to put him on.
Does Deion stay when they leave? There's a lot of questions going to be asked about this team when it's all said and done.
Yes, because I think if you only put him on one side of the ball, like where do you put him at? I think he has a less chance of getting hurt at corner.
Yep.
Because he's not taking hits.
And you do the hit in that corner versus taking hits.
Exactly. So you're kind of at your own mercy.
And being honest, people don't throw against his side that much. So
that's true. Yeah. So he's a lot less wear and tear. If you put him at receiver, he's one of Shadur's favorite receivers. So Shadur's going to find him and get him the ball.
Yep.
Which is going to obviously more wear and tear on his body.
Now, one thing the game did show though is when Travis Hunter was out, Shadur still spread the ball around. You know what I'm saying?
He did. So Shadur has some pretty good receivers other than Travis Hunter.
He do.
I think Travis Hunter's his favorite receiver.
They got chemistry.
But if without Travis Hunter on that team, obviously they wouldn't be the same team. But I think without Travis Hunter on that team, I think he would still get his yards. I'll say that. Yeah. I don't think the team obviously wouldn't be as good, but I think he would still get his yards because, like I said, they do have some pretty good receivers in the lineup.
That's true.
So who do you have? I know you hating on Ashton Genty. Who do you have as the Heisman front runner right now?
Man, I'm hating on the man, but clearly nobody's been this consistent. Every week he might put up 200 yards rushing.
Do you think Jalen Milroe's still up there?
Yes, but he's struggling right now. He's gonna have to put together some great performances.
What about Travis Hunter?
Can he stay healthy?
That's true. I think the reason why I'm putting Ashton Genty so high is because, for one, like I said, Travis Hunter has been injured. Quinn Ewers, I think, would have been up there, but he was out 3 games.
I mean, either way, if Arch has still been playing, like he played the rest of the season, put him up there too. So.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
but I think those 3 games that Quinn Ewers took off, I think that might have hurt his Heisman stock.
Yeah,
and maybe Carson Beck, but he's the Alabama game. He threw too many. He had too many turnovers.
Yeah, being honest, man, I think you got to put the receivers in there.
Which ones?
Ryan Williams.
Yes.
You got to throw him in there. It ain't his fault. You can literally throw him the ball every single play. He's going to make something happen.
That is true. He has been very consistent this year.
Yeah.
Very consistent.
I mean, number 4, Ohio State.
Yeah, Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been consistent.
Yep.
I'm trying to think anybody else that you can throw in there.
I think the disappointment in the Heisman race, going into this season, you would have thought it would have been one of Ohio State's running backs.
Yes.
You would have thought
yes.
That. Yep.
Either them or Michigan's running back, Donovan Edwards. Donovan Edwards has not had a good season at all.
The hype, man. He had all the hype going into the season.
Yes. And now they're struggling to win.
They're
struggling to stay in top 25.
Yep.
Are they still in the top 25?
Yeah, I think they are. Yeah. They top 25.
Where they at?
I mean, they barely there.
Where they at? 24?
Yeah.
Okay. So the hard part, for them to even make the playoffs, they gotta win their conference. Their conference championship.
Man, they're not making the playoffs, man.
Huh?
They're not gonna make the playoffs.
No, I didn't say they were going to make the play. I'm saying in order for them to make it, they got to win their conference
It
championship.
ain't happening, man.
And they can't. I don't see them beating Penn State. I don't see them beating Ohio State.
They're not.
I think Ohio State's going to blow them out the water. I think Penn State has this weird thing where they play to their talent, to their they play to their competition.
Yeah,
which I think may hurt them in the long run.
it will,
because instead of them running up the score, putting up points, if their opponent scores 20 points, they're gonna score 30.
Yep.
Like they're not gonna come out here and throw up 40-0.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think that could hurt them in the long run, but that also goes to show you that they are capable of winning in close games. So I guess it depends on how you look at it.
It was USC, man.
I'm just saying they were ranked.
Here we go. Play a top team and do that.
I'm just saying they were ranked.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. I'm sure they got Ohio State coming up on the schedule somewhere.
Yeah.
So who do you got as the upset this week?
Let me look at the schedule this week.
This week, Alabama plays Tennessee. I think that's going to be a really good game.
You said Alabama play Tennessee?
Alabama and Tennessee.
That will be a good game. Who you got?
I think Tennessee might pull it out.
Man, let's pick the upset this week.
Also, before we go into the upset,
Okay.
Georgia and Texas play this week.
Who you got?
I got Texas in that one.
I got Georgia if your boy quarterback for Texas.
Oh, that's not my boy. I told you last week when we talked about that. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
That's your boy.
Who do I got as the upset this week? As much as I hate to say it, no, I'm not even going to call it an upset. I'm going to say it's going to be a very, very close game.
Okay.
Miami and Louisville. I think that game is going to be very close and going to come down to the wire. If I'm calling an upset, Oklahoma State might beat BYU.
I'm looking at the schedule, man. You're going to kill me for saying this.
You're going to say Purdue over Oregon.
No.
Oh, okay.
That was my first thought. That was my first thought. But I like West Virginia over Kansas State.
Okay. I can see that.
I just feel it. I ain't gonna say now Purdue. Something about that Purdue game. Purdue,
I can see that.
will shock somebody.
Purdue just put up 49 points last week.
I know. That's why I said they'll shock somebody.
So, but I think the reason I say Miami and Louisville, the reason I think it's going to be a close game is because Louisville most of the time comes out to play. Like, they're out of the top 25 now, but Louisville still has a pretty decent team.
They're almost like Virginia Tech.
Yes. So I think it's going to be it's going to be a lot of good games this week. Notre Dame and Georgia Tech. That might be a good game.
I don't like Notre Dame. Yeah, let's go Georgia Tech.
So that if Notre Dame loses another one, it's going to be hard for them to stay in the top because if you think about it, Notre Dame is independent, so Notre Dame has to remain in the top. They don't have conference championships to count on.
Yeah.
So that's where all these other teams have the advantage. Where I think they may, after 1 or 2 years of this format, they may end up joining a conference. Okay. Simply because that's just my opinion. I don't know if it'll actually happen, but my opinion is because it's going to be it'll be easier for them they'll play more games. It'll be easier for them to get in the playoff bracket because now they have to be top 12 in order to get in the bracket.
Man, you talking about this made me think of Fred. Just being honest, that's something Fred would say they should do. But he would say join a weak conference. Yeah. For the team. You know what I'm saying? They just make their players better.
If I see them joining any conference, I can see the ACC.
ACC, yeah. Makes sense. Basketball already in the ACC.
Yeah, because if you look at these other games, like if Alabama loses, because if the problem is if Georgia lose and Alabama lose, that might put them out of contention if Texas and Tennessee continue to win out because Huh?
Yep. No, you're right.
Yeah, because
you're right.
who is Tennessee's lost to?
But I'm just looking at this because if both of those teams lose, that's going to shoot Clemson and Notre Dame up.
Yes.
Yep.
So that'll be that. It'll be interesting if they do lose. That will be very, very interesting. Especially like I said, if Texas and Tennessee went out, then it's obviously going to be them two in the conference championship.
Could you imagine that, man? Texas and Tennessee in the SEC championship game.
Yeah, that would. I will be so happy if it's not Alabama or Georgia.
Woo! Come on, man! Don't do that, man.
I cannot stop. If it's not Alabama or Georgia, I will be happy.
Okay. All right.
Now, like you, I'm kind of like you. I do like watching Ryan Williams play, though. He's very interesting, and I like Jalen Milroe.
I do too.
But I don't like the team, so and I'm just getting tired of Georgia.
Yeah.
So I was kind of happy when Alabama beat them, even though I don't like Alabama too. But
it could have been a tie for all I care. I don't like either one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But then we got an interesting week coming up. We're gonna see if our predictions come true.
Yeah.
And definitely we'll be back on here next week to talk about it, to see where our predictions to see if our predictions came true, or shoot, we could be completely wrong. These teams might just get blown out the water.
I know, man. Hopefully Davis be back next week, and we might end the Alabama trash talk. We might.
Yeah. Good for him. Alabama got to win this week, though. If Alabama lose this week, it's a wrap.
Well, if they lose, Davis, don't come back on next week.
Yes, it's a wrap. If Alabama lose, it is because it is a wrap if they lose.
Yes.
So, I mean, they losing to a good team, but still, it's a 2-loss Alabama team.
Yep.
But you got any more games that you want to talk about?
Nah, man, I'm good.
All right, so definitely check back in next week. We'll be back next week with Week 8. So we definitely look forward to Week 8. If y'all have any comments, any comments, any questions, drop them down in the group. If y'all want to jump on and give y'all's intake on college football or whoever your team is, if you want to give, just jump on and give your intake on it. Definitely let us know. Do remotely. We can send you an email. You can jump on the podcast with us. And as we always say, this is more than a podcast. We handing out crowns.
Hand them out.
Who the lover, who the hate? Who the realest in my circle? Who the one who be the snakes? Who gon' fold up under pressure? Who gon' understand the stakes? Who gon' wait to get they food to try to take from off my plate? Who the love? Who gon' understand I'm hurt? Who gon' love me unconditionally and try and make it work? Who gon' party once I'm gone and shed a tear once I'm in dirt? I ain't asking for too much, I'm trying to understand my worth.